Thank you for attending today's tribute to the United States Armed Forces. For centuries, these brave men and women have been on the front lines in the face of danger to protect the everyday freedoms of the average American. They spend time away from their families, away from their friends, and away from their homes, all in the name of liberty. These hardships have been well documented in innumerable books, TV shows, and movies alike, as well as their undying commitment to their country, their people, and their fellow service members. A great example of the extreme loyalty of the members of the armed forces is seen in the book The Lions of Kandahar. This book documents the missions that Major Rusty Bradley undertook in order to push back the Taliban forces in Afghanistan. There are many stories of death, stories of nearly lost fights, and heroism contained within this book. And I think this one glimpse of the life of a Special Forces soldier very much so shows what members of the armed forces are willing to sacrifice. They're willing to quite literally put their lives on the line in order to stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. It takes a special type of person to be in the armed forces. A service member must be brave, strong-willed, loyal, and willing to lose everything for the freedom of their country. Not only do they lose time with their families on deployments, but also for the extensive different types of training and missions that they must do in order to stay mission ready. There are even lifelong physiological effects on the body as a result of training that some service members must endure, as stated in the physiological consequences of U.S. Army Ranger training. This is why it is so important to appreciate members of the armed forces. Every part of their job is essential to keeping a strong defense for their country. Another example of a great story of an armed forces member is Saving Private Ryan. Most people believe the story to be purely fictitious. However, this story is based in fact, the surviving member not being named Private Ryan, but Fritz Nyland. This story can be found in the article Realism, Genre, and Saving Private Ryan. This is a story of three brothers who went to war. Two of the boys had died, and there was a dangerous mission sent out to save the third brother. In the movie, great bravery was shown by all members willing to put their lives on the line in order to save Private Ryan so the family wouldn't have to lose all of their children. This is just one example of the great bravery needed to be in the armed forces in order to keep the country safe.